All right, welcome back, everybody. Going to go through my trades today that made in our live trading room. This is going to start off with buying a crude oil on this Monday, July 10th, 2023. We did have an HF1 buying the crude oil. Held on to this trade about 30 minutes or so. Did not ever really dissolve into anything. Went ahead and took my loss on it. Also, we made a nice little trade on the mini NASDAQ as well. Let's look at that. What we'll do is we'll look at all the charts first, then we can look at the overall results for the day and break it down for you. So we lost on our crude oil trade, but I did take a nice little buy on the mini NASDAQ. Let's look at that buy on the mini NASDAQ. All right, here's a trade on the mini NASDAQ. This particular trade did come in later in on the day, but it was a buy. I did also I had a buy on the E-mini S&P. We won't look at that chart, but very similar type of trade. We'll look at the results here in just a minute, but the mini NASDAQ was a nice, what we call an HF2 buy. Had an HF2 buy entry. Came in around 230 something, around 230, 232, something like that. We had this buy on the mini NASDAQ. We did hold, and it did finally hit our profit target over here at a little past 4 o'clock. Finally hit profit target. So we went ahead and got out, made a nice little trade on the mini NASDAQ. Stocks were kind of tough today. Let's look at our stock trades. All right, so as you know, I was long on the on JDST from Friday. I actually was up a little bit in the morning and went ahead and I added to the buy up here. Was a mistake, obviously. Did come down. I finally got down and I exited. I did take a pretty good size loss on JDST. JDST has been one I've been trading for weeks. I really like it. Probably still continue to watch and keep it on my watch list. If I see some firmness coming in tomorrow, I could be getting back in as early as tomorrow. So we'll keep that on our watch list, but not a good day at all on JDST. Let's see what else we have here that we traded. All right, finally, and the only trade that I really had a nice profit, well, what do you call it a nice profit? I did win on the EVLO, but certainly it wasn't anything outstanding. EVLO, this was actually an afternoon trade. Came in around 210. It was an HF1 buy. I wasn't heavily positioned on this trade. I wish I was in hindsight, obviously. But I was not. We did go through 4 levels. Once I hit level number 4, I went ahead and I took profit. Once again, HF1 is one of 4 different patterns. And these lines you see here, once again, are calculated through the Einstein formula. So a combination of a pattern along with my profit target gives me many different levels that I can go for. And I'm usually looking at the Bookmap, which gives me an idea of order flow, kind of see where the orders are and the type of volume that's coming in. And so a lot of times, if I continue to see good volume and not seeing a lot of selling coming in, we'll hold these positions longer. Sometimes they just don't work out, but in most cases, I can usually hit these targets because each one of these do have over a 70% probability of eventually being hit. When I say eventually, doesn't mean it's going to hit it in the next 10 minutes. It means it's going to hit it. And these levels, okay, are each one of these different time frame patterns are going to continue to hit. But the farther I go out, it means it's going to take, it could take longer to hit it, okay? So sometimes they happen right away on a very strong thrust up. But most of the time, going to have to hold on to the trade a little bit longer if you want to go for the farther out targets, okay? So let's take a look at the overall results for the day. As you can see, made $942 on my on the indices and the crude oil. Once again, did take that loss in the crude oil, but made it on the E-mini S&P and the mini NASDAQ. And took a pretty good sizable loss on JDST because I held on in overnight. But, you know, I was willing to take that risk. I didn't expect it to be that much, but it is what it is after I added on. Because it was actually green coming into the morning. And then, unfortunately, it pulled back just after I added in and took a loss on that. MARA, once again, little bit of trade there, not much. Took a loss on MARA. It wasn't going anywhere. My 2 afternoon trades that came up on our watch list was EVLO and CD. So made a little bit money in the afternoon, no big deal. And then BBIG, once again, was also a loss. That came in mid. It was later in the morning. I think closer to noon when I put that on. So no go there. But anyway, overall, it was a red day today. Just a tough day overall. I mean, the indices. That's why I like trading. When I'm trading stocks, I love trading the indices because a lot of times, if you've been watching me for a while, if I can make it in the indices, a lot of times that will cushion what I'm doing in the stock. So I usually, if I have losses in stocks, I can usually pick it up in the indices. It's just a really good balance for trading against stocks. So and I like trading the overall market. So I like trading mini Nasdaq. I like trading the E-mini S&P. I like trading the Russell, and sometimes I trade the mini Dow. It just depends on what kind of action I see. But most of the time, staying away from the mini Dow. Stick with the E-mini S&P, mini Russell, and the mini Nasdaq. All right. Nothing on gold today. I didn't see anything that I really liked on gold. Well, actually, I take that back. I did buy gold here later in the day, so I'm going to carry that over. So I am coming in long gold, and I'm also coming in long. I wanted to mention this. Because I did put a trade on RIOT. If you look at the charts, RIOT looks strong. I did buy RIOT this morning. I still have that one on. It's not a closed out trade. You'll see closed out trades when I close them out here. So I do have RIOT on, and I do have gold on. So we'll keep a track of those and see how those do in the morning. I know going into the evening both were green, so hopefully we'll hit some targets. I'll be able to get out tomorrow. All right, that's it. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.